What are some very obvious signs that someone is not used to having a lot of money? I had a friend who grew up in a very poor family. He was the first in his family to go to college, and after graduating, he got a job at a big tech company. He was making around $120,000 a year, which was a lot for him. He was very smart with his money. He lived in a small apartment, drove a used car, and saved most of his money. After a few years, he got promoted and was making around $200,000 a year. He still lived in the same apartment and drove the same car. He was saving a lot of money. One day, he called me and said he wanted to buy a house. I was happy for him. He had saved up a lot of money and could afford a nice house. He asked me to go with him to look at houses. The first house we looked at was a small 2-bedroom house. It was nice, but it was in a bad neighborhood. The house was $50,000. He liked it, but I told him it wasn't a good investment. We looked at a few more houses, and he kept picking out the cheapest ones. I finally asked him why he was looking at such cheap houses. He said he didn't want to spend too much money. I told him he could afford a nicer house in a better neighborhood. We ended up finding a nice 3-bedroom house in a good neighborhood for $150,000. He was hesitant to buy it because it was more expensive than the other houses we looked at. I told him it was a good investment and he would be happy with it. He ended up buying the house and loves it. He still lives there and has paid off the mortgage.